Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game from Hammerfall between Life and 120. Life spawning as the blue Night Elf player on the top left-hand side of the map, meanwhile 120 spawning as the yellow Undead on the bottom right. Undead versus Night Elf should be a great matchup here as we hurry things along to that 2-minute mark. Altar of Darkness is going to be showing a Death Knight, meanwhile Altar of Elders showing a Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter has once again become popular in observation against Undead just because, well, Mana Burn is such a powerful ability against a race who, well, likes Death Coil and Frost Nova. Demon Hunter gonna, well, double back around, couldn't slip through there. That's gonna add a little bit of time as he's trying to creep, as we see an Acolyte getting taken out. Meanwhile, the Ancient of War is slowly trying to regenerate some of his hit points, but that's taking a little bit more time as we now see Immolation working for the Demon Hunter. So Immolation hitting all four of these units at the same time, finally gonna turn it off and now back away, allow the archers to get the final hits on everything as the Demon Hunter makes his way down to the south. Have you seen the recent China vs. Korea LG Cup? I have not. Korean player won the final 0-1. Yes, he won the title without winning the game. Wait, what? How? We don't need controversy in WarCraft 3. Alright, summoning up a Ziggurat right now. Demon Hunter turning on Immolation, ready to dive on in here. Able to, I don't know who got the final hit there, as the Demon Hunter now looks to back up again. Death Knight wants to stay close to home, wants to make sure that this Ziggurat can stay up and alive. He did sell the Scroll of Town Portal, but the Altar of Darkness hasn't been unsummoned, and we can see that there is a 6th Acolyte nearby to try and well, haunt a gold mine here. Where is this Acolyte going to go? Acolyte is, well, attacking back. You can see this Ziggurat taking quite a bit of damage. Death Knight now makes its way back over. Are we going to perhaps see another surround again? Yeah, the Chinese player was disqualified for not putting his captured stones in the bowl's lid. Wait, what? I'd have to read that article. Wow, that's weird. I guess it's if you're trying to. Well, that's a great way to make sure that the Koreans win, but and also a great way to make sure that the Chinese players never come back. That's bad. Right. Anyways, coming back, like, yes, technicalities, but yeah, like, no. If you're trying to create a rivalry, maybe they're trying to create a rivalry. All right, Death Knight now down to 70 hit points here. We're looking at a Tree of Life waiting to get canceled. It should get canceled. There it goes. Wisp is now back out, and well, Life didn't mind that. He was able to kill a handful of ghouls off in that position, all for the cost of, well, canceling a Tree of Life. Meanwhile, down to the south, we are looking at a haunted gold mine. Ziggurat should be upgrading to a Nerubian tower, and now the Ancient of War is slowly making its way off over there as well. All right, Demon Hunter going to clean things up. Terrible situation overall, and that's exactly what will probably happen as China's talking about banning foreign players from their tournaments. Yeah, that... Yeah. Wow. Demon Hunter coming back with Staff of Teleportation inbound. Tome of Agility still being left behind there. Tree of Life not even close to being done as he's trying to just wave off that Death Knight. There is another cancellation there. More poking down, more ghouls getting cleaned up. Demon Hunter sitting at level 3 with level 2 Mana Burn. Should be able to finish off some more units pretty cleanly. There is also Boots of Speed there. There is, I believe that was a Ritual Dagger for a bit of healing as the Demon Hunter goes after the ghouls again with a very, with a slight chase. All right, trying to get into harm's way. Demon Hunter now going after the higher hit point of the two ghouls. Death Knight trying to hang back just far enough to give that ghoul unholy aura and allow these units to, well, dive in. Naga Sea Witch is going to be trained up here, as with a handful of ghouls making its way back out, the Demon Hunter doesn't want to go down this narrow corridor and perhaps end up getting stuck. All right, down to the southern position. A Necropolis is trying to get summoned up here. We are teching to tier 2, and there is currently full saturation on this haunted gold mine here. Meanwhile, we're looking at Ziggurats trying to upgrade to a Nerubian tower, but is a little bit late. Acolyte, one Acolyte gets taken down. This Acolyte purposely holds position. Meanwhile, Mana Burn onto the Death Knight before a Death Coil, and that's just great timing by Life, knowing exactly how much mana 120 has, and it knows when to mana burn. All right, so just keeping his opponent in check. Demon Hunter could turn on that immolation switch. We're looking at a little bit of damage onto another low hit point ghoul. Archer trying to retreat back is going to be able to head back all the way out of range. It looks like he's going to be able to do a little bit of that, as that Archer is down to 14 hit points, but a skeletal minion, one attack should be enough. Meanwhile, Death Knight now trying to get away. Cold arrows making that a little bit difficult. Boots of speed on the Demon Hunter also as another mana burn, but not enough to finish off the unit. Archer trying to retreat back. You guys can keep a look on the mini-map for me as Life cleans off some of these skeletal minions again. New Tree of Life off to the north. Demon Hunter going to try to dive on in once more, perhaps go after these Acolytes again. Naga Sea Witch down to 74 hit points. That could be a little bit of a problem, as we're looking at some cold arrows perhaps down on that Death Knight once more. Ghouls, skeletal minions trying to chase after a slow-moving Naga Sea Witch. Demon Hunter does have a Staff of Teleportation that says, you know what, I can try and finish off some more things, but no, gonna try and go after that Death Knight, who does have healing going on, and we're gonna see a little bit of an attack here. There's an attack again, and both sides really just trying to maximize what they can get out of their unit. You can see a low hit point Naga Sea Witch making its way back into the battle. That's generally not a good idea at all. And low hit point archers just still in this position. Small fights, small armies engaging against each other, maximum micro, as these small skirmishes often are. Death Knight now retreating back here. Altar of Darkness already summoning up the Lich. This could be a problem. Death Knight trying to find itself into a back corner. There's a Staff of Teleportation. He realizes that the Death Knight has a way back out, and he decides to go home. All right. As we transition into the mid-game, we're looking at 120, finally doing some more creeping. Demon Hunter is sitting at level 3. Ancient of War is in position. That Tome of Agility is still left behind. More damage, more armor for that Demon Hunter. Not quite sure why it's not being picked up. Ancient of War is still making the slow trek over, needs to heal up quite a bit, doesn't have that Nature's Blessing, even though we are at Tree of Ages. As we are teching to Tree of Eternity. The Forest Troll Berserker right there. Well, 5/5 supply, so both sides really trying to get their economy going before they engage. Both sides trying to leverage their economic, or leverage their new and stronger economies for larger armies and better investments in tech. Death Knight and Lich, however, fairly low on items. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Demon Hunter and a Naga Sea Witch. Well, Demon Hunter pretty much full. Naga Sea Witch doesn't have a Staff of Preservation, though. That's one of those things that I thought would have been definitely on there. Naga Sea Witch needs to get to level 3. There's a rejuvenation on the Demon Hunter, who is inching closer to level 4. All right, Necropolis finally looks like it will be done. Now, there is a mana burn onto a Lich. No Frost Nova, only a Death Coil. Are we going to see some more, more damage? There's another mana burn again, as the Lich is able to get in a couple of engagements, but no Orb of Corruption. That's that next power spike once you get to tier 3 as a Dryad. Gonna get taken down. Level 2 now on that Lich. Are we going to see some big Frost Novas? There's some Druids of the Claw actually in Druid form. That's actually a tough spot to be in, as the Demon Hunter now continues to make its way over, perhaps trying to mana burn it down, the Obsidian statues, to prevent additional mana anywhere else. Spirit Tower going to get upgraded. There's another rejuvenation here. Druids of the Claw are just wandering around here, providing rejuvenation for that Demon Hunter to keep him alive. The Druids of the Claw, though, do not want to engage. They deal decent damage in Druid form, but not enough so that you would want to risk them at this point, especially when they only have 580 hit points. All right, there's more of an engagement. There's one Druid of the Claw. There's a rejuvenation, and then another Druid of the Claw back in fighting mode, beast mode, as we're looking at clearing things up here. Still surprised we don't see a Staff of Preservation for the Night Elf. Meanwhile, 120 going after this Rock Golem creep camp, going to be able to clear things up a little bit and perhaps get to level 3 too. All right, down to the south here. Obsidian statue, well, just hanging around apparently. Death Knight, Lich on the move here. Are we getting Destroyer form? Yes, Destroyer form nearly completed, and they may be taking to the skies in just a moment. Lich waiting to get that little bit of additional experience. Naga Sea Witch, third hero by 120, so we're going to see a bit of Fork Lightning eventually, but the cold arrows to try and pick off any fleeing units. All right, Scroll of Town Portal needed. We're going to see one, well, Ziggurat getting taken down. There's another Mana Burn and, well, a tactical retreat there. Not quite sure why he didn't go after the Spirit Tower. More investment as, well, it's a tower in addition to being a Ziggurat and providing supply. All right, army is getting ready to engage here. Demon Hunter making its way back over. We're going to see a Mana Burn onto the Lich. Frost Nova, or Cold Arrows, maybe reason why he turned blue. I don't think I actually saw Frost Nova. Death Knight, well, Demon Hunter having to really Mana Burn down all 3 enemy heroes to keep them in check. That's going to be a problem and too much of a load for Life's Demon Hunter, trying to keep the Lich, the Naga Sea Witch, and that Death Knight low on mana. Right now, the Naga Sea Witch doesn't have a level 2 Fork Lightning, doesn't have Fork Lightning at all, so isn't as big of a deal, but will eventually want to do that. All right, let's go ahead and start this next battle here, or this next engagement. That tree of Ancient of War, not going to bother. There's a Fork Lightning going across. There's a little bit more heal. Demon Hunter, Potion of Healing, and here we are into that battle. Staff of Preservation finally on that Naga Sea Witch. There goes another Ghoul. Both sides are looking to fight. There's that Staff of Preservation, making sure that the Demon Hunter doesn't take too much damage suddenly, as the Naga Sea Witch now being forced to retreat back. There's a Fork Lightning. There's a little bit of damage. Demon Hunter trying to dive on in, and, well, this is just going to open up the timing. Well, no, teleports off to the north, and the Druid of the Claw still ends up getting finished off there, so no real save onto the Druid of the Claw, only saves and repositions a handful of units as the Destroyers are trying to go after the Druid of the Claw there. Druid of the Claw down to 85 hit points. It looks like he'll be able to back away, and range units really going at it once more. There's another Mana Burn again. Naga Sea Witch now finally low on mana. Demon Hunter wanting to perhaps go after additional targets. There's a Scroll of Healing. Is he going to use it in time? There's another Mana Burn, and the Death Knight now down to 65 hit points as well. Orb of Venom allowing him to attack air, as the Death Knight now back up to 200 because of the Obsidian statue still providing hit points. Demon Hunter being forced to kind of retreat back. There goes another Crypt Fiend. 65 supply compared to 72. Life winning out on that fight there, and now, well, training up also some more units back at home. Meanwhile, Abominations joining in on the battle. Death Knight looking to get to level 4. Lich, well, we need to see higher levels from these undead heroes for them to really hit their stride. Book of the Dead dropped. Death Knight going to be looking pretty strong, as, well, with so many Abominations now, perhaps, and also researching Disease Cloud. No Disease Cloud. Disease Cloud generally is very effective against all of these Dryads. That Disease Cloud lingers for so long, and it deals damage over time so effectively against these Dryads that after one battle, you can almost do like a hit and run tactic and then time it 2 minutes later, come back, and all of those Dryads are just low on hit points and easy to pick off with Crypt Fiends and a little bit of auto attacks. All right, there's that Disease Cloud that I was expecting. Meanwhile, we're going to go into an engagement. Another Mana Burn going down. Frost Nova onto the Demon Hunter. Death Coil onto the Demon Hunter, but the Demon Hunter shakes it off with a Potion of Invulnerability. Mana Burn goes back the other way. Demon Hunter, well, wants to get to level 5, but you really don't want to allow your opponent to even get to 150 mana at this point. So it's one of those questions of how much is necessary. Druid of the Claw gets taken down again. No Staff of Preservation on the Demon Hunter, saving a different unit instead, as the Abominations are now getting taken down. Dryads are going to, well, slowly take that poison damage over time as the Destroyers are trying to retreat back away. Meanwhile, the Druids of the Talon do deal piercing damage now. Remember, those Destroyers are going to end up getting finished off, and the Death Knight forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal at level 3 to get away. Is that Abomination going to make it? No, it is not. Another Abomination lost, another 4 supply unit lost, heading all the way back home. And 120 just needs to trade a little bit better. That 4 supply difference, well, and those close calls really add up to a very big difference here, except the Death Knight has not been able to get death coils off to save those units. 400 hit point, 600 hit point heals. He's not been able to do those in combat, as the Death Knight has constantly been keeping, or excuse me, the Demon Hunter has been constantly keeping them in check. Demon Hunter going to get to level 5 here. Level 3, perhaps mana burn to just shut down the enemy's heroes as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Undead is bringing about his 3 heroes to gain as much experience that he can. We may have a triple level up off of this creep camp when it is done. The Death Knight actually should be closer. The Death Knight needs a little bit of the experience. The Naga Sea Witch will get to level 3, and the Death Knight, well, if he just death coils this enraged elemental, would get to level 4. Nope, gonna go after this creep camp down to the south. So a triple level up for the Undead army during this creeping fight. And then now, well, difficult to say who has the hero level advantage. All right, Demon Hunter making its way back off. Well, gonna go ahead and Staff of Teleportation, knowing the fight's being brought back home. Naga Sea Witch is here as well. I believe that Tome of Agility was finally picked up. Demon Hunter, well, getting ready to engage. Oh, Roar is always a dangerous venue, as the Destroyers can, well, devour magic that. And then, wow, Forked Lightning and a little bit of auto attack right there. The Destroyers, can they get some splash damage? And that's going to be the questions. Webbing down some of those Druids of the Talon as well. 3-1 upgrades. They're trying to poke. There's another mana burn, but, well, didn't go for very much, as we're looking at those Druids of the Talon now finally getting cleaned up. Another Forked Lightning coming back across, trying to finish off some of those Crypt Fiends, but it looks like Undead is alive here. 80 supply compared to 77. Dryads continuing to poke, trying to win the war against the Crypt Fiends. The Crypt Fiends would normally win out on the battle, but yeah, but there's just not enough of them. That is the problem. The Demon Hunter is in this frontline spot. He's trying to shut down all of these units down to the south here. There's still one Druid of the Claw left. Nope, take it back. Gets cleaned up. Staff of Preservation for the save. And the Dryads are trying to focus down the Destroyers before the Crypt Fiends can focus down the Dryads. We're looking at this constant poking back and forth, and now Dryads and Archers are getting cleaned up. 65 supply compared to 62. 120 able to retrain up a couple more units back at home, getting some more Crypt Fiends. Meanwhile, Life but needs to get some more Druids of the Claw, and also perhaps using those Druids of the Talon to actually handle these Destroyers. Tome of Agility +2. Who's going to get it? All right, Lich with a slightly faster attack now. +20 supply, or +20 damage on that Lich with that Orb of Corruption. And we're looking at perhaps potential expansions right now here on Hammerfall, as the main gold mines only have a minute of mining, or have less than a minute of mining left. All right, both sides have been engaged in these fights here. Both sides are trying to figure out what way they can get a little bit of a tactical advantage. The unit combinations really do counter each other. The Destroyers trying to go after the Bears, the Crypt Fiends trying to go after the Dryads. It's that first round of fight to see who can really tip things in their favor, and that's often why the Undead opening up with a Death Coil Frost Nova comes out on top so quickly. Lich could have picked up another Tome of Agility, decides against it, as the units are now falling back again. Now, there's another quick roar. They're going to try and engage. 79 supply compared to 75. Army size of 120 is slightly larger. Units going to try and back away. Are we going to see any more mana burn? The Demon Hunter is pretty much mana burned all of the enemy heroes. There goes another Lich again, and now going after the Death Knight. Death Knight could be in trouble. No, Potion of Invulnerability in time. There's a Fork Lightning. Both sides continuing to engage again. Lich up to level 5, trying to blast. Bless me. Wow. Oh. Thank you, guys. All right, Demon Hunter going after an Abomination. Scroll of Town Portal, but the Abomination was just out of range here. Could be a little bit difficult. There was, I believe, a Dark Ritual by the Lich. Lich does have, well, has a large mana capacity, so even at this stage can in fact mana burn with that 125 mana spell. All right, it looks as though the Acolytes are going to try and haunt this gold mine here. There's a couple of webs down, and here we are going into a fight. Demon Hunter mana burning onto the Death Knight. Again, Death Knight has dual potions of mana, perhaps to try and save any low hit point Abominations in the fight here as another Fork Lightning. All right, Bears are getting taken down. The Crypt Fiends are going to be able to have field days. Abominations are getting cleaned up, as we still have some more Druids of the Claw still making their way over. 69 supply compared to 65. Life seemingly have lower supply, but still has a couple of Bears here, which could cause troubles. The Destroyers trying to dance back here. Dryads need to try and find a way to finish things off as another mana burn goes down for 121 mana. Beautifully done there. Crypt Fiends trying to, well, get back and all sticking their head in the sand and trying to heal back up as the, well, as the Druids of the Talon are going after the Destroyers to try and finish them off as well. There goes another Destroyer. 59 supply compared to 52. It looks like Life is actually inching out ahead slowly but surely, but going to be difficult calls as the Death Knight has used both of its potions of mana. Staff of Preservation, Demon Hunter out of the fight, perhaps going to Staff of Teleportation back in here. Needs a little bit of time as we're looking at the Lich. Going to be in trouble. Down to 63 supply. Are we going to see enough cold arrows go down? 29 supply. One more arrow in the back would have been enough. No, not enough, but the Death Knight ends up falling instead. Demon Hunter's back on the chase here. He's going to mana burn, take down the Lich. And wow, a beautiful, beautiful fight by Life here on Hammerfall, just trying to min-max everything. That initial engagement, I thought Undead would have been able to, well, fight very well, but the addition, that change of Druids of the Talon, going from magic damage to piercing damage, when I first heard that, I thought that they would be used against Destroyers. And I was proven right, but it took a long time for the meta to actually shift in that direction. The Crypt Fiends having being able to web down those Druids of the Talon, and then the Crypt Fiends also being able to challenge those Dryads. But Life got in a perfect position, constantly kept the hero enemies in check with their mana, and was able to push them back. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.